It's a nice little Wednesday morning here. Bitcoin's doing the same thing that's been doing for the past, I don't know, week and a half now. I guess it's been actually 13 days. So nearly 2 weeks, in fact. Traditional markets, very little is going on. The consolidation continues. And even in gold and the metals land, same shit there too. But all of this is a preparation for the next move to come, of course. Bitcoin does seem to be leading the charge here as it does show weakness, still putting in these lower highs. And ultimately, Bitcoin, Bitcoin, I do still think is poised to test these lows. Still think that metals are more or less topped. Traditional markets, though, is a real wild card here. We'll get into that a little bit later as the power is waning there, but at the same time, it continues to hold above the most important pivot for traditional markets, at least the major indice right here, SPY, continuing to hold above that early 5th of February low. And in fact, not yesterday, but this would be Monday's low, now seeming to be the next potential higher low. So this is a beautiful consolidation right here, and it's not necessarily what's the word that I'm looking for? God damn. Oh, man. The lack of sleep killing me from last night. Holy shit. Oh, there's nothing worse than being woken up at multiple times in the night. Fucking cars running, fucking cars starting. God, just don't do anything before 7 a.m. for the love of God, okay? No one needs to go anywhere before 7 a.m., all right? Let's all just start our day after 7. Before that, make no noise. After 7, make noise. Before 7, don't make fucking noise. After 7, make fucking noise. All good. Anyways, the word that I'm looking for perhaps is validated, but in this case, we do still have a lower high right here, so there's still a legitimate possibility of a reversal, but still, the major reversal point would be validated below, again, that Thursday, 5th of February low at 67.52 and change right there. As long as SPY's above there, it is still potential to be higher. I mean, it is quite literally a higher low, but it is not confirmed as a reversal just yet. Even with that lower high in, we still have a higher low right here. So it is in a consolidation, and we're waiting for, of course, resolution from this. And, based off the previous trend, obviously it's still to the upside. So technically speaking, this should have an upside bias here. Now, I do want to repeat that if Bitcoin, if SPY continues to go below that early February low, then yes, I would be looking for this thing to come all the way back down towards this weekly price action pivot, which is about 65.30-ish region, probably test somewhere around that green 55 EMA. But until then, this is a consolidation at a high level, and the bias actually still is bullish based off of the previous trend and the current higher low that's being put in right here. So, a lot of things, to be aware of right now. But if anything is, I guess a little bit more optimistic, that would of course be traditional markets, mostly led by the by the industrial sector as well. This one showing a little bit more relative strength here. Already made new highs in February and is putting in yet another higher low from Friday and Monday of this of this past week. So Friday of last week, Monday of this current week is what I mean to say. But ultimately, this one continuing to follow the yellow brick trend to the upside. Beautiful, 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 with another drive of hidden bullish evidence on the daily time frame here as well. So I'm really looking at Dow Jones Industrial Futures to be indicative of where this market is going, because this one is the leader right now. It's Dow Jones, then it's small caps with the Russell 2000, then it's SPY, then it's NASDAQ. That seems to be the sort of the rotational pull right now. So this one's the best one to be watching. As long as this one remains to be bullish, we can kind of expect these things to at least float sideways and up for traditional markets especially. But when it comes to gold, I'm still looking at this as very likely a major top right here. It is, funnily enough, following those altcoins pretty damn well as of right now, although we have seen a decent rally in the early morning hours. But still, the major pivot now for gold to reclaim former glories and bullishness would be reclaiming that Tuesday, the 10th of February high. That is 51.19 and 34.5 cents. As long as you're below there, it is still a lower high. It would seem to be indicative of the bull, of your traditional bull trap. But man, I keep on repeating this point. I really want to see this thing get up to about 5,200. Maybe it's just my own ego talking right here, because ultimately that's where if I was going to trade this thing, that's where I'd be interested in it. Unfortunately, it topped out, a little bit before that. So, it still bothers me, to be honest. It really does still bother me, just because that is where you would expect your your traditional bull trap leading into a real reversal. And right now, this one continues to kind of hold sideways. Although my personal opinion is that it has very likely topped out for a very long time. But still, in order to fully validate that, it needs to go back down below that February low. That would validate this as a macro reversal, not just a major reversal, of which, we've already validated that, of course. Anyways, let's go over a few of the comments right here. What's up, Bear Nutrition? Good morning to you, man. Ben's Chair, as always, good to see you as well, sir. Sam Frangosi, well, indeed, sir. Can you explain the difference between normal candles and hollow candles on trading? Oh, it's just a visual difference. That's all, man. It's literally the same thing. It's telling you the exact same information, just it's a visual change. The hollow candles show up candles as these sort of like translucent candles instead of the regular candles, which are, you know, just like this. They're colored in, basically. It really makes no difference in how the data is interpreted. It's just a visual change. That's all. You can apply whatever color you want as well. I just think that this one looks a little more sexy, and I'm a visual person, so I prefer that one. But hey, if you want to use regular candles, that's fine too. Shit, man, you could fucking look, you could use bars if you really want. It's telling you about the same information anyway. It's just represented as slightly different visually speaking. So this is actually the way that I learned with bar charts, or sorry, bar charts. It sounds weird when you say it like that. But yeah, pretty much all of these are telling you the exact same thing. With like kind of slightly different twists on it. And it's mostly just a visual preference as to which one you kind of gravitate towards. I like this one. Again, you can choose whatever the fuck one you want, because honestly, it really doesn't matter at the end of the day. It's telling you the same thing, basically. Anyways, what else we got over here, man? We got a few more comments to be getting into. Liberty and Trust is responding to someone, so I won't read that. What's up, Midnight Rave? Good morning to you, man. Runs, baby, run, says 5 a.m. is a butt crack of dawn. It is indeed, but right now it is not necessarily 5 a.m., at least for me. But yeah, man, too many people waking up too fucking early in this goddamn household. Stop it. Stop it. Just stop it, okay? Wake up later. It's better. It's much better for you. It's more natural as well. Wake up with the sun, go to bed with the sun. It's that simple. That's how our circadian rhythm has actually been set up for hundreds of thousands of years as the gutters get installed in the background. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but it is somewhat loud over here. Hopefully can't hear it too much. McCalc says, McCalc. Hey, Crown, did you ever consider a Futures 101 course? I'm doing a TA 101 course. It's going to be 100% free for futures. Like people really, in terms of trading and strategy setup and ideation, creation, and testing, all of that's going to be the same, basically. When you're trading futures, you are naturally just going to be trading something with leverage. So the only thing that you need to kind of learn with that is how your leverage contracts work and whatever exchange that you might be on. Of course, it's different on multiple different exchanges, but in general, when it comes to crypto exchanges, you have, for the inverse perpetuals, a funding rate. That's kind of the biggest difference between that and your traditional futures contracts on traditional markets. And that funding rate basically pays a certain side to hold a certain position and incurs a fee on the other side for holding the opposite position. So usually it's going to be positive funding, which means that in order to be long, you pay a small fee every period, which might be 8 hours. In some cases, a little bit more, in some cases, a little bit less, depending upon the exchange. And of course, if the fee is positive, or if the funding rate is positive, then if you are short during that period, you actually get paid to hold that position. That's the biggest thing right there. And then of course, just figuring out your leverage levels, which I don't like to talk about too much on this channel, because I honestly think most people probably shouldn't be trading leverage. Now, of course, if I think that, then what should I best do? I should probably, try to educate people on that. But at the same time, man, I really do think most people look at trading as just another venue to gamble on, in the same way that people gamble on sports, sports betting, and now the fucking prediction marks and all this sort of shit. And honestly, like, if that's what you want to do, fair enough. Fucking more power to you. It's easier than going to Vegas, I guess. But at the same time, if you're really serious about it, well, there's very few people like that, to be honest. I can assure you of that. I don't know, man. I'll probably put something together. But right now I'm focused on finishing the TA 101 playlist. Again, it's going to be 100% free. I think we are going to be good to release at the end of this weekend. I have 11 out of 12 videos done, and I'm feeling pretty fucking good about it. I feel at least compared to what I've seen because I've actually paid for other people's contents just to see. Again, this is how fucking autistically nerdy I am and maybe egotistical, but again, my purpose with that was to make my free shit better than anyone's paid shit. And I'm starting to really feel strongly about that, because we, at least at the very end of that of that program, as I kind of flesh it out, I believe are accomplishing the goal of giving people a real fucking roadmap as to what long-term consistent trading actually looks like. Not just fucking, here's some lines and how you can draw some lines, and here's how you can read the MACD. Of course, you should probably know the basics of that, but that in and of itself is not a strategy. And I'm sure anyone here who's kind of played around with that shit, already knows that fact. You know, you need to incorporate things in context, and the only way that you gain context is by creating a strategy, which is effectively just a hypothesis of, you know, if this setup is validated, then what is more likely to happen? And that's basically what you're trying to apply, the scientific method to trading. Most people, again, not fucking interested in that, to be honest. And hey, fair enough. You know, I understand people have lives outside of this shit, and all good, man. Dang, bro, Crown, yo mama is not nice. Who's yo mama? Oh, you mean in Discord? Oh man, you go in the Discord at your own peril, my man. You go into the Discord at your own peril. Anyone's free to join. Anyone can join. The link is in the description below, but you will be warned. There are very little rules there, except for, you know, like literal rules regarding, like, you know, Discord's rules and shit like that. If you can't stay in the kitchen, man, don't fucking be in the kitchen, I guess. But yeah, Yo Mama's usually trolling. He's pretty funny, actually, to be honest. So yeah, it might be that you are interpreting a joke as seriousness, in which case, usually in the pit, it's probably not that serious. Probably not that serious. MCalcs has been trading CFDs algorithmically since the original quant course back in the 2022. Hell yeah, man. Got massive value from that in the original free YouTube videos on psychology and TA. So looking forward to it. Hell yeah, man. You'll probably be past the content that I'll be going over in that TA 101 playlist. But, you know, I guess wouldn't be bad to just freshen up on some of those ideas too. But I think you'll probably be past it if if you've already kind of gone through those. Those are honestly a step up in terms of complexity. So if you understood, you know, the content in those programs, then I think you're probably in a pretty good place, man. But if you want more of the foundational knowledge, then sure, yeah, you know, check it out. Like I said, it's free, so no fucking skin off your back, I guess. Is Saint Anna a mod yet? Unfortunately, no. His application is still being processed at the current moment, and we do have a position open for a mentally unstable savant who has great prophetic qualities. But there's many options to choose from. MNG is asking when back to Finland. Not going back to Finland anytime soon, man. Apparently that really pissed off someone else earlier. You know, they're like, he got red pilled, fucking stupid Crown. He's lost all sense of reality now. It's like, oh god, man. I'm sorry. I have a different opinion than you. I know it's terrible to encounter someone on the wide world of the internet having a different opinion than you. But hey, this is life, man. This is life. Many people have many different opinions. We can't all expect to be the same now, can we? Unfortunately, that's not the way it goes. Or at least the way that it probably shouldn't go. I mean, that's probably a bad thing, man. Discord needs more Z's again. Oh god, man, that's an era that I can gladly say goodbye to. God, man, that was just getting super weird, man. That was just getting super weird. It's kind of funny at the beginning, but then at the end it was like, okay, you're actually serious about this, and you are delusional, sir. So please seek help. Please seek help. And we ain't the fucking place to go to. Where do I apply? Yes, sir. You may apply in the Discord, in the link in the description below. Hey, Crown, what do you think of NEAR on the weekly and monthly? Probably absolute dog shit garbage. In fact, I can almost flush this one before even looking at it. Probably look at Bitcoin first, but I'm genuinely curious to see, why are people still obsessed with shit coins of yesteryear? Oh, congratulations, the first fucking flusher of the day. God damn, man, just fucking pathetic. This is what almost every part from 2021
My ankles!
Down. It's going to go down. I'm surprised it's going down. It literally only goes down. What sort of jungle juice have you been drinking that has given you the Kool-Aid powers to be believing in some fucking bullshit like this, man? Like, I fear, like, what sort of YouTube I'm sure there's like YouTube channels out there. It's like, NEAR protocol, man. I know it's going to reverse right here. My target's $10 and nothing less. Okay, we're going to be getting rich as fuck. All right, post your rocket ship emojis and we will be going up very soon, very fucking soon. I promise, it's very soon. Like, oh god, yeah, man. I don't know if you believe in shit like this. I got some fucking crystals to sell you that will make your asshole a little bit tighter, but they're in limited supply, man. So price is about $1,000 per, and you have to stick it up your urethra in order for it to be activated. I don't make the rules. I'm sorry. Anyways, we can't hear you when you flushing, sir. Sorry, man. I do apologize. It is a rather loud flush. It is what it is, though, unfortunately. I've been eating a lot of very bad food recently. Very, very bad food, in fact. Anyways, one moment while I take a sip of this water. Very nice, very good. Had my salt intake as well implied in the water. Let's go over to the Rev and Ribbons here. I think that this one is just becoming like a focal point of my analysis because it just accurately and succinctly sums up pretty much what I'm looking at from a trend perspective. And in this case, Bitcoin, as long as it's below the midband, which right now has actually gone up, which is kind of strange. It's gone up over the past couple closures here. But as long as Bitcoin is below the midband, which is 70,582 and a half, you know, I have to be biased towards downside price action. Ever since Bitcoin lost the midband over here, it has been governing this move absolutely beautifully. And in the short term, there is a short-term pattern target down to about 62,200 on the upper end. And on the lower end would be about 59,500-ish region. Anywhere in that blue box is fair game. And that is generally where I'm looking for as long as Bitcoin is, again, below that midband, which is 70,550. If we go over to the weekly time frame, this one also seems to be playing quite technically as well. It's interesting to me because as of the current moment, Bitcoin's being walked down upon these green dots right here on this trending moves. That's what you do expect from this. And it is also showing us on the other side, you know, if you're looking for a rally on Bitcoin in the short term, I mean, first off, I'm not that optimistic for a rally in the short term, but even if Bitcoin did rally, I really think best case scenario on a rally in like, you know, over the next couple of weeks, if it even happens, which I don't think that it does before, you know, downside is tested here, 73,000 bucks is probably where I'd be looking towards. I really don't think Bitcoin's got any significant upside in the near or even medium term future. If Bitcoin is going to have significant upside, I think that that's like, you know, many months out from now. It's not going to be happening anytime soon. And in this case here, as Bitcoin continues to get walked down upon these green dots of destiny, you know, that does give us a range of interest very similar to the daily between about 59,700 on the lower end, and kind of where we're at right now at about 66.5 or so on the upper end. But I do expect waste below there. Again, pressure is to the downside on Bitcoin in the short term here. There's really no getting around it. If you are looking for positions in the short term, I don't think that upside positions make much sense here if it's not for anything, you know, on a very, 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 very low term time frames. But then again, you know, when you're trading against the trend, you're just asking to get run over for, you know, a few nickels. And in my opinion, probably not worth it. When we go over here to the 12-hour time frame, there is some hidden bearish divergence on what would be your next lower high, which was at 70,400. Same thing on CME here as well. And again, as long as we're below that last lower high, which is officially 70,175, sorry, 70,170, $5 off right there. Again, the price action pivot to the upside, you know, that's just more likely to play out. And at the very least, again, 65,000 bucks, probably about right. Personally, I think that you get a wick a little bit lower, closer to maybe 60,000 bucks, but I do think Bitcoin is going to be poised for another bounce here. I don't think that Bitcoin's going to break down fully to significantly new lows on a closing basis anytime soon. I think that we are going to be filling out the lower bound of this range and spending a lot of time doing a whole lot of nothing. The reason why I say this is because Bitcoin is starting to now bounce off of that 200 simple moving average at about 59,000 bucks. Yeah, I expect another test or two down around there, but you know, to break it without a prolonged consolidation first is unlikely. So again, you know, if you're bullish, I don't think you should be excited about really much here, unless if you're a long-term investor, in which case, you know, I put a bit of money to work at the low $60,000 territory. If you're, you know, looking more than 5 years out, I think it's probably going to be good value. If you're looking very short term, probably not going to be great value, probably a bad idea. And to the upside, you know, just not looking at much above 75,000 bucks or even 73 at this point. You know, Bitcoin's going to put in some time here, I suspect, and it's going to get quite boring if good things are going to happen later. And if bad things are going to happen, that would probably happen sooner rather than later. When we go over to the HPDR, I just want to acknowledge again the monthly bouncing off the 78.6 level right there. Again, it's just, I really don't expect a major breakdown below that on the first, second, maybe even third pass. You know, it's going to spend some time going sideways at least. So I do think that that's important to reflect upon. And then, of course, the next sort of signal that I'm looking for that could make me more optimistic would be, of course, the weekly stochastic momentum oscillator popping back up to the upside. Obviously, right now it's heavily to the downside. In fact, not only is it to the downside, but we saw it go, or the pivot go from about 69,000 bucks to 73,000 bucks from last Friday to this Monday, which is not a good sign. I mean, that is pressure down basically. And so as long as this one's continuing to the downside, yeah, at least another sweep of the lows, maybe a wick lower. When we start to see this thing flip back up, that's when I'd say, hey, Bitcoin is going to be in for a significant rally, you know, like one of those 10 to maybe even 20% rallies. But of course, you know, we need to see it flip up first. And right now it's obviously to the downside. So I'm just not seeing any technical reasons to be super optimistic in this market in the short term right here. And if anything, in the short term, I'd be looking for downside movements. But also on the topic of, Bitcoin probably not making significantly new lows, again, look at your weekly BBWP. We're already at extremes. It's just, there's not enough juice for this one to really like break down from here in the short term. And then of course, also on the short-term bearish side, we can go back to the moons over here. I did want to do a quick study on this one as well. And whenever you get one of the more traditionally bearish moons, over the past 10 iterations, it's led to a strong single-digit move. The lowest of these was about 2.5%, it's actually just over 2%. Was the lowest move from signal given to next major low. But, generally speaking, a lot of these were around 8%, one of them even going for 20%, which was the most recent one. And, if we play around with numbers here, what would about 10% down, or let's say 5% down from that signal look like? That would put Bitcoin at about $64,000. I do think we're going to see something like that. 10% for reference puts you down around about $60,000. Again, all these are fair game. I do expect these numbers to be hit at some point in the next couple weeks. Probably sooner rather than later, but at the end of the day, I don't have good timing acumen myself. So, if you've been on this channel for even a year, like you already fucking know that. Timing's very difficult. Price targets and areas of interest a lot more relevant. Here's another thing that I see a lot of people calling out as of recent. I don't really agree with it myself, but a lot of people are looking at this as the head and shoulders, and that's how they're getting their $40,000 targets. Something like this, or actually, in this case, a little bit lower. I don't know if it's going to work like that. The reason why is because the right shoulder and the left shoulder don't really seem to have the symmetry that you'd expect to see on a head and shoulders traditionally. I mean, look, I can be wrong on this one, but shit. If Bitcoin really starts to break below here, then yeah, $40,000 I guess is incoming, but I don't know. I'm not seeing it myself just yet. I'd give this area right here a chance after it gets fleshed out for another month or two. Something like that. Yeah, you can hear the drilling. Motherfucker, man. That's actually my gardener, but we got gardeners. We got gutter people setting up shop outside too, man. It's fucking loud. It's fucking loud, sir. I apologize, man. Using a leaf blower to blow up an air mattress. Yeah, motherfucker. Come on, gardener, stop it. Stop it. We've spoken about the goddamn noise. Oh, God. I move out to the suburbs to have peace and quiet. What do I get? People waking up at fucking 5:30 goddamn a.m., starting up their loud-ass fucking cars, completely oblivious to how that sounds to anyone else. Oh, motherfucker. Really pisses me off, man. Really fucking pisses me off. Yeah, the funny thing is that my lab kind of is soundproofed, I guess, but not soundproofed well enough, man. That's for sure. I might have to move my recording studio into a different area. Anyways, I'm actually kind of surprised that you guys can hear that. It doesn't sound that loud here, to be honest. But yeah, I know you're big on the 21 and 55 EMA. I'm curious on your thoughts about the 13 and 34 EMA. I've heard people talk about it before. Look, it all comes down to your preferences. The 13 versus 34 is just, it's going to be similar to the to the 21 versus 55, but it'll be a little bit faster. So it's going to catch your trend shifts a little bit faster, but it's going to be wrong more often if you use that as a guide. It just comes down to your preference. I like the 21 and 55 because honestly, I've just been using it for the longest time, and I just feel like the amount of experience with using it over the years just can't be replaced. If I were to switch over to 13 and 34, but yeah. All right, cool. Let me see. Let me see what super chats we got going on over here. Let me scroll back to the top of these chatties here, and let's see. It is Freddie M. First, he's asking about LMT, Lockheed Martin to $700. I don't know. Is that close or is that far away? Is it going to happen this month in February? There's like 10 days left in February, man. I don't know about this month, but I would say in the next couple months, very likely. I think that you will get past 700. I think that this thing's probably going to like 750. Maybe even 850. It's not bad here. Overall it's bullish, but if your question is like in the next 10 days, I probably wouldn't feel super confident saying in the next 10 days, but whether it's in the next 10 days or the next 2 months, does it really, maybe you're like long calls or something like that, and that's why you need a specific time. But I would probably I would go on the conservative estimate of that and say longer than 10 days, man. Anyways, 773 Arya says, morning cancer. What's up, man? Ban crypto shitter. Oh, God. Okay. Banano. Okay. Surprise, surprise. Another shitcoin fucking chart, man. Wow. Amazing. Down fucking only, huh? Down fucking only and down fucking only again. Look, man, you don't need me to tell you that this thing's going down and down and down some more. The only hopium that you can have here is for one of these one-off rallies, and all of them fail anyways. And you just kind of had one recently, which looks like it was a pretty big move. In fact, this one going up 33% just got rejected. So I think you're ready for another down phase rather than another one of those, out of nowhere pump phases. So if you're trying to play the magical chairs game, I think you're late on this one, man. I don't see why. Who's holding you hostage that makes you want to fucking trade this thing or near or any of these things? Is it the usual suspects on YouTube that are promoting these fucking absolute garbage pieces of shit that have literally no fucking shot in hell to ever be successful ever? Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's from your own doing. Who knows, man? Who knows? We may never know the truth of this situation, unfortunately. Bitfinesse says, can we look at Ethereum? We can. I can't promise you're gonna like what I say. But let's see. I haven't looked at it in a while, to be honest, man. So let's see. Quarterly time frame. I guess in the most optimistic of senses, you could make a case for this potentially being a low here. Same thing like on the monthly. I mean, it is still a higher low compared to your April of 2025 low, but it absolutely must reverse here if that's going to hold true. And I do think that it will try a bounce here. So it's possible. Anyways, you're asking, can you discuss how much time is left before the candle closes and what that means for how long we may be at current prices? I think there's a misunderstanding of what these things even mean, to be honest. On last week's streams, gate code sounds like gay code. Yeah, it's true. Okay, so when I'm talking about, what it means for how long we may be at current price. Wait, what? How much time is left before the candle closes? Well, for the 3-month chart, it's going to happen every quarter. So January start, and then it ends at the end of March. So once you get, what's the month after March? April. So once you get April 1st, you get the next quarterly open, and that lasts for 3 months until you get to July, which is your third quarter, and then until you get to October, which is your fourth quarter. Those all last for 3 months. Obviously, the yearly starts in January, ends in December, and again, just whatever time you're at in the year is how much time you got left, man. So right now we're in February, so that means you got another 10 months or so, a little bit less than 10 months, I guess, because we're mostly through February at this point. But as far as how that relates to how long we may be at current prices, these things are mutually exclusive, man. I think that you might be drawing something from the analysis that isn't necessarily intended to be drawn from. But honestly, when I look at Ethereum, for all intents and purposes, for all the jokes that I want to make, look, if you want to be bullish on Ethereum, or if you're investing for the long term on Ethereum, this is the price that does make sense right here, not because it's guaranteed to work out, but because one, it still has a higher low, so your long-term upside, or sorry, your long-term uptrend is still valid in a way. And in order for this one to invalidate itself, meaning that, it's no longer a good long-term do, and it's probably just fucked like most shit coins. You don't have to wait too long, or you don't have to wait for too much in order to invalidate it, which would just be coming back down below this price action pivot low, which is 1384, or your April lows from 2025. So, anywhere below there, there is no longer any hopium really for Ethereum in my mind. I think it's going to be a down only chart with rallies in between, obviously, as with anything. But for right now, if you are looking at this over the long term, and you're a long term to you means, 4 or 5 years out from now, I understand someone who wants to invest right here. I think it's a decent setup. Again, not because I'd be doing it myself, but because you don't have to wait too long in order to figure out if the trade is going to work out for you or not. And relatively speaking, it's kind of like a minimum risk. So, if you are looking at this as bullish, I mean, you're looking at it like something like this. You still got these rise and lows, and you got the same highs right here. Is it a big winner? No. I mean, this thing didn't make really new highs during this cycle. So it's kind of in my opinion, a bad investment, when you have many things that did make new highs, especially in other markets. But I can see it's still long-term. I mean, as long as it follows this, you do still have your uptrend intact, and that's good. And that's investable long-term if you really, love this for whatever reason. But yeah, man, I don't want to be spewing you too much hopium here. Look, if this thing comes back down below April lows, it's fucked. It's gone. It's kaputs. It's going to be following the general trajectory that you see most of these shitcoins follow. But up until now, Ethereum has, done much better than most other things in this market, in the crypto market at least. So give it a chance. And, you're also coming off the 2-week 200 simple moving average right here as well. So, I get it. If you're long term, that makes sense right there. I'm not going to do it myself, but hey, if you want to do it, more power to you. I understand the setup. Straight Path says, "Good morning, sir. Is iron bullish here?" I don't know. We may look at it. Let's check it out. Nasdaq. Bullish isn't the right term. It's consolidating, and the long term, yeah, it is. It is going to have an upside bias. I think it's going to rally from here. Probably going to rally back up to like 46 and a half, maybe even $50. But I think that you're generally ranging on, in this vicinity between about 58 on the upper side and about 33, 34 on the lower side. Still think that these large lines are more or less directionally correct, but if I were to draw it out to what it's probably more likely to look like, it would be this. You rally up here, spend some time going sideways, maybe test the upside, maybe test the downside again. But as long as you hold within this range, it is a bullish bias. It's just, I don't think that you're breaking out anytime soon. I think that at earliest you're going to be looking at, maybe next quarter, maybe even Q3. But spending time in this range right here, that's actually a good sign for this thing long term. So yeah, I wouldn't say it's immediately bullish. Tom Lennon says, "Lol, Crown being condescending." I love when he does that. A little bit of that is good for the soul. Yeah, man. Of course, I have to have a little bit of fun, man. When you're on the YouTubes and you're getting criticized, like, one of the things that I underestimated when I got onto YouTube is like how much criticism you actually face, on like a daily basis. Because naturally, not everyone's going to agree with you, but for whatever reason on the internet, when people don't agree with you, like, they just fucking they just make you into the fucking devil, which is kind of funny because that guy's name was like Lucifer Incestus, which translates to devil incest. It's like, hey, if someone's gonna hate you, I hope it's that guy. But yeah, man, you gotta have a little bit of fun with it. Can't take it too personally, because at the end of the day, it's like, what does that guy know? He doesn't fucking know me. I mean, if you watch me every day, you probably know at least a few things. But at the same time, it's like, can't take it too seriously. It's like, look, sometimes people have different opinions, and on the internet, you're going to be exposed to different opinions. And I'm sorry that I might not share the exact same opinions as you, sir. It's crazy, I know. But in America, we're free to have our own opinion, kind of. At least more free than other places, that's for sure. God damn. I think there's like several Western European countries now where they actually do put people in jail for social media posts, which is kind of crazy. I mean, it's not kind of crazy. It's like full on fucking crazy. Very bizarre, man. Very fucking bizarre. Anyways, Aiden's, hold on. Did I skip anyone here? Yeah. Aiden's 6122 says thoughts long-term on LIMAF. I guess. Linamar Corporation. Okay, new one for me. It's an OTC bullshit stock, so might as well be a crypto, but significantly better than any crypto chart we'll probably see today, because this one is actually bullish. You do have a monthly higher low in here. You're already at the previous high, so absolutely a bullish bias on this thing. We'd like to see it finish February above $69. Great number as well. If you can do that, then I think that you got a screaming breakout here. But the thing is, when you pop back into the same area that has been rejected from once and twice, you might have a short-term pullback here. I don't know if that's super relevant to you. You said long-term, so maybe not. But don't be super surprised, if it does spend a little bit of time coming down, consolidating here, and then trying for the breakout maybe in March. But overall, it is a bullish bias. I have no problem being bullish on this thing as long as you're above about $60. So yeah, not bad. Let's see. On-chain looks great. Yes, on-chain looks great. And the chart looks terrible. That was like all of the 2022 bear market was these fucking 15-year-old on-chain analysts telling you about how bullish Bitcoin is because illiquid supply, lo and behold, it appears the chart supersedes all, unfortunately, or fortunately. We never know. Anyways, Mike's Mind and Matters is near. Love it. I remember when Crown was saying $3 would be a dream. Well, in hindsight, that worked out pretty well, I guess. Look, it's not much of a flex to be bearish on shitcoins. Like, they're generally going to go down. If you have to bet on a direction, down is always the right direction. Almost always, of course. There is a season to be bullish on shitcoins, but it's few and far between, man. People massively overestimate the frequency of that season. It doesn't happen as much as most people would want you to believe, unfortunately. Aiden's is back. He's looking at NTR. Okay. New one for me as well. Nutrien. All right. It's on nice. Can't be that bad. I guess I've looked at it before. I do have this as an inverted head and shoulders, and I do have a technical target up here to like $82, $83. I think it will get there on a long enough time horizon. But for right now, I think that you do see a bit of a pullback on the short term. Again, I don't know if that's relevant to you. Again, you said long term. So, you know, if it were to pull back down to, let's say, like 65 or 66 bucks, would that be, you know, devastating to you? I don't fucking know. But generally, I do think that you will find your way to this target. And I don't think that you're going to go back down below like 60 bucks, or at least if you did, that would be my invalidation. I'd be bearish off of that. But until then, yeah, sideways and up is the name of the game. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. And you're back again and you're looking at AVAV. Yeah, I know this one. I actually did not buy this one. It was among the ones I was looking at as investable when I was looking at defense technology stocks. Medium, long term. I don't have as good of a read on this chart as the other ones. There have been some pretty impressive moves here for sure, but I don't feel confident about this chart either which way. And if anything, I'm more inclined to say that this looks toppy here, but I don't feel confident on this one. So I really want to be super transparent when I don't feel confident. When I go to the quarterly time frame, it's like, can I be bullish in this? I guess. It's very difficult here. This is the one that I wouldn't want to give an opinion on because I just don't think I have a great read. In the short term, I do think I have a decent read, but that's the one thing you didn't ask about. And I think in the short term, you will see this thing pop back up to like 290, maybe 300 bucks. I guess if you had to create a setup for this thing, what would it look like? I mean, what is the price action pivot? 225 basically. As long as you're above there, I guess bullish bias below there, invalidate, and come down to like 160 or something. But I think that there's just more obvious trades abound here. The conservative cat's looking at RR. One moment. Yes, let's get over to that one. So this is one of the ones that we were looking at, I think, at the end of last year. Held it for a little bit. It ended up invalidating what I was looking for, so I dumped it. I capitulated. But let's see where it's at now. Yeah, it's crawling. It's still holding this range, it seems like. So this was our target based off of the invalidation, which happened, I think, at the end of January. In fact, yeah, I would give it a chance to bounce here. Look, if I wanted to, if I really loved this stock and wanted to reposition, this is where I'd do it. Not because it's guaranteed, but because you're resting on the exact same level that would be required to invalidate this thing as bullish, which is 281. If you close a weekly below there, yeah, okay, send it back down to zero, whatever. But am I going to reposition on this? No, I'm not. Again, I was just looking for a quick trade, basically. That's all. And it got invalidated, so I take the loss. All good. Go on to the next one. In this case, I do think that you're going to bounce here at least a little bit. What happens after that bounce to like maybe 3.25 or maybe even like $3.50 is a wild card. But I'd really be looking at basically this week's low as a nice invalidation point. If you close below there, send it down, down and down and down some more. But yeah, in the short term, I do think that this bounce carries on a little bit, at least to like 3.25 or something like that. All right, what else we got here? What else we got? Just lost my space. My apologies on that. Okay, there we go. I found it. We got again. And my phone's making all sorts of noise. Let's see. Is there anything important here? Is there anything important here? Oh, else is actually sending me messages, but all good. All right. Sam, hey, what's up, Sam? Can you walk through how you use TA for options, or not how options work, but the thought process using TA and deciding what? Okay, so Sam, I can say directly to you because I know that you're in the Crown Trading Bible. You can just go see like live trades with options in that program. Yeah, it's quite older, and I do intend to update it, but I can assure you those strategies are exactly what I do right now anyways. But anyways, you are asking how to use TA for options. So two ways. So of course, whenever you're talking about options, you have to be aware of volatility, right? And so looking at a technical indicator for volatility, like the BBWP indicator, can be incredibly useful. When volatility is high and then starting to come down from those highs, kind of like what we're seeing, or we're not seeing this just yet on Bitcoin. The weekly BBWP is very high, but it's not coming down yet. When that starts to happen, I will look to sell options. So that's why I've been postulating taking a short put spread position if and when that does happen. But for right now, we can see it coming. It will happen. It's just, it's probably maybe another couple weeks off, at minimum, something like that. And vice versa. If you wanted to long a spread, or if you wanted to be long volatility, well, you could wait for volatility to get very, very low, like you see right here. And then, if you're bearish because, well, price was bearish in there, maybe you buy put spread, maybe just buy some naked puts. And what do you know? You have a big trade right there too. That's a very, very simple way of using it. You could also use it to trade kind of like callers on the peripheries of ranges. So let's say you create a range. Let's do it on the daily right here. let's say we wanted to do a daily range. We say, okay, there's a top, or it's not necessarily the top study range. I guess it'd be more like right here. That's the top study range. That's the low study range. Maybe I pick like a strike a little bit outside of these ranges and short those. If I want to short, something resembling a strangle here. A lot of ways to do this, man. A lot of ways to do this. It really depends on your preferences. But when you have your preferences, then you can apply the options. That's the way that I like to think about it, rather than kind of trying to force strategies into, into an analysis. But yeah, a lot of ways you can do that. But if you're looking for the simplest integration, volatility is always going to be that, man. It's always going to be that. So you can generally figure out what the right play is, whether you should be buying or selling options by looking at what your volatility indicators are telling you. That's where I'd start for sure. And then, yeah, if you wanted to use it kind of like to scalp in this case, like a strangle like this, yeah, that can work as well. Especially if you're like a line drawer. I think that would probably be the most appropriate for those people. It would at least make the most sense, basically. Anyways, John Lux says, please take a look at Canton, CC, been uncharacteristically strong. Yeah, I remember we looked at this one a while ago, and it was, to be fair, it was. Let's see what it's doing now. Yeah, it still is, to be fair. I mean, this is still bullish, still holding a higher low at 15 cents or 15.5 cents. Have to be bullish in this. Again, invalidation would be on a closure below 15.5 cents. But until then, this thing looks like it wants more up. You're getting another drive of hidden bullish divergence on Caretaker's RSI. Yeah, can't hate that, man. Can't hate that. And, if it does take out that invalidation, okay, send it back down to fucking, I don't know, 13 cents or whatever. But until then, yeah, follow the yellow brick trend. And that is absolutely an uptrend. So fair enough. Fair enough. Very nice. Let's see what else we got over here. Ray now 97. What's up, man? Hope you're doing excellent as well, sir. Fart. You want to look at Fart? I mean, we can look at a Fart coin. Well, it's a down only chart, sir. I think you're getting ready for some more down. Maybe retest this 15 or 16 cent low over here. Crazy thing is now like a 1 cent move is like 10%. It's a lot. Anyways, you're looking for a short. I think you're on the right side of the trend, obviously. If you're looking for it right here, where it makes sense to manage risk, that would be above 20 cents on a closure. If that's acceptable for you, go for it. If not, then don't. But I'd be targeting around these lows, like 17-ish, somewhere around there. Yeah. I mean, I think you're on the right side of the trade, right side of the trend, obviously. But is it going to shoot to new lows from here? Well, it's fucking Farcoin. It very easily could. Probably does. 773 says comedian ban. You looked at the wrong chart. You can just tell me the fucking exact ticker. That would also be helpful. Comedian ban. Oh, okay. Well, that would have been helpful, man. Hold on. Let's try this one. This is the same thing. It's the same fucking thing, man. This one's just... Hold on. Is it the same thing? No, this is a different chart than this. Is it this one? Is this what you're looking at? Look, is it good here? Yes. I mean, objectively, it is good if this is the right chart. The problem is you have a lack of history. It's a shit coin. These things can fucking rug pull out of nowhere. But yeah, if you're asking my opinion on it, I think it would probably go back to like 14, 15 cents. Other than that, don't really know, man. I really don't feel too confident about these things anyways, because like I said, shitcoins can dump out of nowhere. But if you're just asking about the TA, I would say probably going up to 15 cents, maybe 16 cents, something like that, man. Something like that. Well, it's Tino's long-term introduction on YouTube. I actually can't say that I know Tino. Someone else told me this, maybe it was you, but I can assure you, if you go back to my videos from 2018, that was literally how I opened up every fucking video for like the first 2 years of this channel. I don't know him. Well, whatever, man. If you want to think I'm copying him, that's your prerogative, I guess. At the end of the day, honestly, don't really care. It doesn't really matter. Cloud Debussy says XPO on Nicey. All right, let's check it out. XPO. Good. Very good. What is this? What is this? Oh, is it like a fitness stock? No, it's something else. Whatever is good. That's what I can say about that, man. I think you probably extend this run a little bit more before you get a pullback, maybe like 212, 215 region, and then pull back a bit. Maybe even 220. It's just bullish, dude. It's just fucking bullish. There's really not any crazy announced beat on this. I'd be even short-term bullish as long as you hold above 185. let's just say like 220, something like that, man. It's good. It's very, very good. What do you think the absolute lows can be for Ethereum? I don't know. Scroll back like 5 minutes ago when we actually go over Ethereum, man. Let me get out my crystal ball and tell you exactly where it's going to be, because I definitely know. I have no way of knowing that. I know how to set up a trade, though. I know how to set up a setup, but I can't tell you where the exact low is going to be. There's no way, man. There's no fucking way. Anyways, having to defend yourself for saying well is so fun. It's again, like I said, when you get onto the YouTubes, you deal with they're very interesting comments and criticism. It is what it is. Like I said, everyone's entitled to their opinion, but I'm also entitled not to fucking care at the same time, man. 640 on Ethereum, says NW. Well, I mean, if it comes down there, I don't think that you even want to buy it, to be honest. But in my opinion, if it comes down below last April's lows, I would never buy Ethereum ever again. I mean, I'm never going to buy Ethereum myself, but if I was thinking at it as someone who wants to invest in it, that would be my like humongous line in the sand saying below here and never touch ever again, ever, ever, ever. But you think I did not say that, sir? Holy shit. Fucking redact. I don't know what to tell you, man. You're going to hear whatever you're going to hear. No, I haven't even mentioned the word fucking 700, man. I'm starting to DCA Ethereum at 1200 personally, and then bidding more the lower it goes. I think that's, in my opinion, if you're a long-term investor, that is a absolutely terrible way to look at it. You're literally buying the confirmation of a macro downtrend at that point. But hey, different strokes, different folks, I guess. I think up until now, you can look at this as potentially a higher low. Second that you go back down below April 2025 lows, there's no more hopium for this. It is literally a macro downtrend, which to be fair, has not been in before. It's never been in a macro downtrend before. That would confirm a macro downtrend. You'd have a real fucking issue there. I don't understand why people look at it as like going lower. It's better. That's not a good thing. Like, go back to near. Is near going lower better? No, absolutely fucking not. Things that enter into downtrends continue to go more and more down over time. But look, if you want to light your money on fucking fire, be my guest. I don't understand it myself, but maybe you think you're getting a good deal on shit. But at the end of the day, it's still shit. Also going to be crushed in the coming months, says Nova Sparks. Maybe. I don't know. If Bitcoin puts in a low here, I think the stronger alts like Ethereum should follow as well. The weaker alts, they're going to go down anyway, so I'd agree with you on that. But yeah, what about my nanos? Is this even a thing anymore? Holy shit, it's still on Kraken. Yeah, wow, that's sad. Oh wow, it doesn't even have the chart from 2017 anymore as well. But it'd be looking like this. Be looking like this. Boom, 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 and then down. Yep. Cloud Debussy is looking at symbol C. Okay, this is a new one for me. Citigroup. No time frame. Oh no, we got a weekly here. Difficult one. First off, what was it? Oh, that was 08. Okay, so it got absolutely crushed to death in 08. It's been crawling its way back ever since. Where is it getting stuck out over here? Or do these levels even matter anymore? I guess it kind of does. I think that you're probably finding a high in this rally somewhat soon. I think maybe a move to like 140 and then pull back. In the short term, it is just a consolidation, but it is a bullish consolidation as long as you're above last week's low. So not anything super crazy right there. If you lose last week's low in a closure, then I'd look for a move down to like 95, 96 bucks. Something like that. But for now, I'd still be cautiously optimistic on it, looking for somewhere around like 140. But easier charts for sure today. There's definitely been significantly easier charts that we looked at today. This was not the most obvious in my opinion. But if I had to choose a direction, it would be up right here. I think that you did just have a pretty decent correction. Let's see. Yeah, down 13.5%. That ain't bad. That ain't bad. That ain't bad. The old days, like EOS. Yeah, man, like fucking EOS. You know, and that, it blows my mind every cycle how sure people are of the next big thing, like an EOS, like a Cardano, like a Near, like a Matic, all of these sort of things, man. There's every cycle, there are these things. And Suweave, you know, for this cycle, for example, they almost never pan out. I mean, you know, after what, 15 years in this market, what are the legitimate things that have actually stood the test of time? Well, Bitcoin, obviously, Ethereum, not as well as Bitcoin, but at least it doesn't have a macro downtrend for forever. And then I guess XRP, honestly, for all the shit that XRP gets, at least it's not in a down only macro trend, at least for now. So yeah, you hear Epstein was involved in creating Bitcoin. I don't know, man. It's honestly kind of hard to trust a lot of the things that I see about Epstein on Twitter, because like a lot of people are just fucking doctoring photos and then reposting these. I don't know, man. I've listened to a little bit of the Epstein stuff, but I feel like a lot of this, we kind of, unless you're like super naive, you probably knew. Like, are you surprised that powerful people are connected with each other? Are you surprised that they want to shape the world in their own vision? Are you surprised that they think that they know what's best for everyone else, or at least they want to impose their will on other people? It's the human fucking condition, man. I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm not that surprised. Like they're all a bunch of pedos, or a lot of them are pedos. I actually saw, we went to this Renaissance festival a few days ago on Monday, and there was a guy at the Renaissance festival, not dressed up in costume, who was wearing a shirt that on the back said, oh God, what was it? Oh my God, what was it? Oh, I forget the exact wordage. It was something like kill your friendly neighborhood pedo, but it didn't say it in that tone. It was something like the Second Amendment is for your neighborhood pedo, something like that. Oh, I wish I remembered, man. Elsa took a picture, but she's not here today. Fucking hell, man. Oh, it's pretty crazy. Look, you can be a pedo, just don't fucking act on it. And then you probably shouldn't be shot. But yeah, I mean, if you're a fucking pedo and you're raping kids, well, there should be some consequence. Should be some consequence, right? Nova Spark says nothing to review at all. Just dropping some love since you taught me a ton via your course years ago. Hell yeah, man. Would just change my life. Fucking sweet, man. I always love hearing stuff like that. And I always love hearing stuff like that, because I put myself in your shoes, because I've probably been about where you were as well, where like you're learning something and you struggle through it and everything, and you go through all of the struggles that many people go through with trading, with losing a lot of money and having your ups and downs and all these sort of things. And then after years and years of perseverance and persistence, you actually become consistent. You're like, holy shit, I can produce an income. That's nice. Some people get there, some people don't get there. I have resolved that there are some people who just, they just don't get there. Maybe it's my fault, in not presenting the information that's best absorbed by them. But I don't know, maybe there's other people out there who can better do that. I don't know. I used to think anyone could become a trader, like anyone could, learn anything in kind of like a Pollyannish way. Now I'm not sure. I've seen definitely a lot of people who are persistent learn it. I've also seen a lot of people who were persistent, or at least from what I could tell, they didn't quite, they never quite got there, or at least I don't think they did. Then again, it's like, I'm not looking at their fucking account, and it's not my job to really do so anyways. So yeah. Anyways, appreciate it, man. And more power to you, man. That's really awesome. It's really awesome to hear, man. Leave any comment for the AI Go rhythm. I appreciate it, Mr. Freesteader. It's like freeloader, free leader, freesteader. Yes, there we go. Yeah, Verge. I remember that, Rick. Absolutely, man. Rick, another OG of this channel. Verge from 2017. It was the McAfee coin of the week. And I think it went up like, I don't know, 10, 20x in a few days. And then what do you know? It's the same thing. Nova Spark says it's like the gym, got to be consistent. It really is. I love the gym because of how you can draw out those lessons to being successful in the gym to basically anything else. And it really speaks to the fact that the way you do one thing is the way you do all things. The process of learning a skill is the same. Foundational knowledge plus consistency equals, well, success generally, but it absolutely must be there. And then I do think there is maybe like an IQ threshold or something of that sort that also needs to be met. Because, I mean, is it possible for someone with a 50 IQ to learn how to trade? I don't know, because I don't really know too many people like that. But I would imagine there are a set of challenges that happen with those people that, someone who has like a 100 IQ does not, come into. I know this sounds like terrible to say, but I guess at the extremes, it does matter, of course, at the extremes. I've also seen really smart people really struggle with learning how to trade as well. it seems to be related to something else. It's not just your intelligence level, it's something else. There's like an X factor that allows for people to be consistently successful at trading. I haven't identified exactly what it is just yet. It's not precisely intelligence though. That's what I'm sure of, because I do know some extremely smart people who they just cannot get out of the gambling mindset, and maybe that is an insight in and of itself. I don't know. Yeah, learning trading is learning self-improvement. It really is. It really is. You got to face some demons and control your emotions. Yeah, it's basically it's a path to self-actualization is what I really think it is. As with learning any skill and mastering it's a path to self-actualization. Wayne Batson says, P Sky, it's a stonk. All right, let's check it out. Paramount Sky Dance Corporation. Bad stock. Very bad stock, sir. Turn it up loud enough to drown out the leaf blower. Yeah, man. Luckily, the leaf blower ain't going anymore. I'm guessing you probably don't want like a real analysis on this, but I actually do think it's going to bounce here. I think that the bounce just peters out before, I don't know, best case scenario, like 13, 14 bucks, and probably doesn't even get there. But yeah, you already know long-term it's going down, man. Is this Paramount oh no, it's Paramount Skydance. So it's probably not the movie corporation, right? Did you all know that Nikola Tesla loved gambling? Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised. Like humans, we fucking love gambling. That's how most people come into trading, is that it's just an easier way to gamble, really. And it's one of the humans love uncertainty in a way, because with uncertainty, you can have excitement because you don't know what's going to happen. Like that's why real trading is probably very boring to most people, or is very uninteresting to most people, because it's not stimulating in the same way that gambling is. Because with gambling, it's like you don't know really what's going to happen. With trading, if you apply an actual strategy and whatnot to it, it's not that you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen on any one particular trade basis, but over time, you kind of have an idea. And it's like if you have a 40% strike rate to win, you're not going to be getting super excited when you win or when you lose, because you just know, well, over time, it's probably going to average out. So, yeah. Yeah, they wanted to be the house. They got tired of being screwed at the blackjack tips. Something like that, man. I think I do think you're onto something there. One moment. Oh, Elsa remembers. It said his shirt said "shoot all pedos." Did it really say that? Did it? No, I think it said something else. But I'm pretty sure you or your sister took a picture of it. To be fair, a 50 IQ trader is probably better. I mean, look, there probably is an amount of too much intelligence where you overthink things too much. I could definitely see that. Like it probably is somewhere in the middle, to be honest. Because yeah, you can't. Yeah, you can't think when it comes to trading that you can ever solve trading in the same way that you solve like a math equation, because it doesn't work like that. It's all probabilities. It's not like a direct answer. The bell curve is valid. Yeah, I mean, honestly, the meme of the bell curve, it really is a beautifully constructed meme, because it's so fucking true, man. It really is. It really is. Let's see. Go with Boris says, regards from Sao Paulo. Hell yeah, man, where people urinate and shit on the streets. Please Google that, or just look at Google. Whoops. Google is the ticker here. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. I didn't know about Sao Paulo. I've heard great things. I've heard terrible things. I think that you're bouncing here. I think this thing bounced back up to like 315, maybe 320. After that, I don't know what happens. It might be topping out for a while, but I do think you at least got to bounce here, regardless of whether you're bullish or bearish. And you got a very easy invalidation point to get bearish on it overall, which is 297.5 below there. I think that you're in for a big correction down to, I don't know, 260, wherever I got this alert is right here. Something like that, man. Yeah, but give it a chance to bounce here. I mean, never hate a bounce off of the 21 EMA, and it's a very easy setup anyways. So, and it's also like not hard to be bullish on Google. I mean, for fuck's sake, it's one of the best stocks of all time. Like, so I'd give it a chance here to go sideways for a while. Let's see. Did Elsa's sister get the macaroni yet? She did, actually, and I think she liked it. I'm not sure. She got it from Chick-fil-A. Apparently, Chick-fil-A has some of the best macaroni and cheese. Yeah. I don't know how impressed she was with that. Oh, look who's back.
Here to save the day.
Elsa's here to save the day, she says.
And it was shoot all pedos.
It was shoot all. So it really said shoot. Did you have the picture of it?
Yes.
Do you validated on the picture?
No, but I can check.
All right, check. I don't think it said shoot all peas. I think it said something It said something that implied that, but I don't remember. Anyways, Chad Gambler says, Chad Gambler, hey Crown, viewer since 2020. Fuck yeah, man. I'm long-term minded and DCA majored ETFs. Me as well. QQM on daily looks good. Looks like, am I correct? Okay. Would you DC at 225 to 230? All right. This is a very pointed question, which I think is actually super useful. Let's see. So this is just the top 100 of triple Qs. I actually like Q top, which is just the top 10. But anyways, you're calling it toppy here. I can't agree with that statement personally right now, but let's just run with your assumption. Because right now I'm looking at this as potentially a higher low. I'm only calling this reversal and aligning with you with a short-term breakdown if it breaks below 245 on a weekly closing basis, which it hasn't done just yet. But let's run with your assumption that it is. Where would I look towards next? Wherever the green 55 EMA is, and that's about 235. I'd say that would be like an upper end of the target, maybe a wick down to about 230. I would agree with your sentiment there, absolutely. And I would be doing the same thing. Look, I would literally be doing the same thing with that preference. So I'm glad that you kind of called that out, because it allows me to be a little more direct. But just to be super blunt with you, I actually am not leaning towards that breakdown happening yet, at least. I'm not saying that it can't happen, just I need to see a closure below basically this week's low or last week's low. It's kind of one and the same here, really. Yeah, if and when it does that, then I think you will get your targets. Let's just call it 230. But yeah, I'll be putting in I'll be putting in some DCA buys myself as well. But for right now, this is looking more and more like a higher low, man. Let's see what SPY's looking like right now. Yeah, same. SPY's a little more obvious here. Obviously, triple Q is going to be related to NASDAQ, so it's a little bit on the weaker side, but yeah. Cool. One moment. Let me take another sip. What's all these emails about? What's all these emails about? A lot of sales going on for ammunitions. That's good. Runs Baby Runs says Solana versus dollar for short and long-term timeframes. Okay. Let me pull up Solana over here. I think I might still even have it on my list. I do. Bad, worse, devastating. I really don't like it here, man. Look, the only way that I could be somewhat optimistic on it for it putting in a low here is if it were to finish. Yeah, I'd really need to finish this month above about $95. So you got 10 days left to do that. Is that impossible? No, but in the short term, I would be bearish here. This thing is still showing a downtrend. It's got some hidden bearish divergence populating as well. I think that you're going to retest around these lows, in this next week or two. So that doesn't really allow for too much time for a rally before end of month. Yeah, I really don't like what this one's doing, man. Short term, I think you retest around these lows. Do you make new lows? That I don't know in the short term. You might bounce again and then make new lows later. But long term, I do expect this one to make new lows. I think those things a lot more likely to see down to $40 than it is to see back around $150, for example. But hey, if this monthly finishes above $95, I could change my opinion on that. I just don't think that I just don't think that it will. But hey, 10 days is a long time left to go. And, if it does that, I'll change around my opinion. But for now, short term down, medium term, probably sideways. I don't think you're going to make significantly new lows here just yet. Crypto needs a superhero. It needs a narrative, man. Crypto, even with Bitcoin above $100,000 for half a year, or maybe even a little bit more than that, it just felt like it was dead, spiritually, no one gave a fuck like they did in 2021 or 2017. Yeah, it's just weird. It just didn't feel right. Anyways, Red Pill Closet says ONDS weekly monthly. Okay, is this a stonk or a crypto? It is, thank God, a stonk. I would be looking at a bit of upside here, but you're not looking at a daily. Weekly also good, hidden bullish evidence on what is seeming to be the next higher low. So I just need to see this thing on Friday close above last week's high of 1064, and I would validate that hidden bullish evidence and look for a move back up around those highs at $13.5 to $14. Yeah. Monthly does look toppy, I will say. Definitely has that. But short term, I'd be expecting a rally here. Also daily has hidden bullish evidence. So next move is very likely a rally. Figure out where it finishes this month at, and then come back for the long term, I guess. But something like that, man. Gareth Cornish says BTR USDT. Okay, never heard of this random shitcoin. Is it a good short? It might be. The problem with shorting shitcoins though is that ultimately they can have these one-off pumps out of nowhere. This one wouldn't be my first. Honestly, I would look for the weak shit coins to short if you really want to be bearish. I don't look for the strong ones. Now, do we have some toppy signals here? Sure. You got 1, 2, 3 drives of bearish divergence between this high, and this high. So I should be looking for it to come back down to 14 cents. But I don't know, man. I don't feel that confident about it. The weekly doesn't look too bad to me, nor does the 5-day. In the short term, though, I do think that you will retest around like 16, 17 cents at least. And maybe all the way down to 14 cents, but I'd be expecting another bounce there as well. Does that bounce fail at some point and then come down? I mean, like I said, it's always generally better to bet on downside for shitcoins, but all right, what does it say?
Shoot your local pedos.
Oh, holy shit. His short really did say actually shoot your local pedos. Shoot your local pedos. Yeah, I mean, fair call. If they've committed a real crime, then sure, yeah, go ahead. But I don't know, if they didn't commit a crime, then it's like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? I don't know. Maybe they take over like fucking VR or something, play out their fantasies there. That's because alts never rallied and 90% are in alts. Yeah. I don't know, man. It is what it is, I guess. You know, people are going to be drawn to that sort of thing because that's where they see people making shit tons of money from very low amounts of money. I get it. You know, it's like a Hail Mary pass, a true gamble. But yeah, it's just like people playing the fucking lottery. Almost all of them are wasting their money. And the person who does win typically loses it soon after that anyways. What's up, MNNG? Good morning to you, man. Been watching you since 2019. Fuck yeah, man. Hell yeah. And a Danish person too. We just talked about Daneland, Denmark yesterday. Denmark, probably, in terms of the Nordics, I think the Danish people are probably the most friendly. Anyways, you want to look at NEO? All right. Are you talking about NEO, the stock, or hopefully not the crypto from like fucking 2017? That would be very bad. I don't like this one, man. Perennial downtrend, and you just put in yet another lower high at the 200 simple on the weekly. So I'm betting on downside from here. You got monthly hidden bearish divergence populated as well. I think that this one's, you know, over the next year, going to retest these lows at $5. Just really not good. Only way I'd switch around my opinion is if it, I mean, fuck, man, it'd really have to go back above last month's high. And I think that that's incredibly unlikely on this thing. You know, you're going to have your rallies here and there, duh. But at the end of the day, short term, you know, long term sideways and down is extremely likely here. Jeff B says IRS always wins. Yeah, it's funny. You can't write off more than $3,000 worth of losses. So they get the upside, but they don't really participate in the downside. Thank you for investing in American capital markets. Great business scheme, IRS. Great scheme. Jan Grab says, hey, Crown, how about Lunar? Yeah, man, we've actually covered this one a lot. Not in today's video, but it still continues to hold above my pivot. So I am still holding my position here. As long as it's above $15, I'm, I guess, long-term bullish. If it loses $15, I do think that you're going to be coming down significantly to like, you know, 11, 12 bucks. But for right now, I think that this thing wants to rally more. I think you pop back up towards 20 plus and it's in a strong position overall. You know, this thing, I am still, like I said, I'm still holding my position. Full disclosure, I do own, you know, this thing below $15 especially. But $15 is my line in the sand. Below there, I will capitulate. Until then, cautiously optimistic here. So I think that this thing retests the highs and probably breaks out long if we fast forward over a long enough time frame. One moment, I need to take some more of this water here. It's pushing off the 221. Yeah, death and taxes. Exactly, man. Bullish engulfing. That could be a good close for the weekly. Talking about on Lunar, it's still pretty. No, it doesn't have bullish engulfing here, but you're probably not talking about this. Thoughts on SSYS? SSYS. Let's see. I don't know. Never seen it before. Looks like a general shitcoin chart. One spike up and then down only for forever after that. I think you might have one more corrective move back up to like, I don't know, 13 bucks or so, but it's just hard to love given its long-term history. So it's like you're trying to basically play one of those one-off pumps. I do think short term you try an upside move. I just don't think it's like going to break out in a significant way above 13, 14 bucks, something like that, man. Cars, crypto, and conspiracies. Halliburton stock on the 3-month, new lower high, more to go. I don't know. Let's see. Whoops, that is. Oh, there we go. Okay. Well, we do have a higher low on the monthly and the quarterly. I think that this one's going to pop back up towards 40 to 44 bucks. Again, I notoriously hate oil and energy stocks, but if you put a gun to my head, the LARP lines would look like this. You got this higher low in here, and then if it does pop up here and retest those highs over a long enough period of time, it's probably going to break out to the upside. But give it a chance, man. I notoriously hate these things, though. I really do. I just don't think that they play that technically. So, if anything, I might end up being wrong on this one. Let's see. The Myth says, what do you do when you onboarded old money early last year after Trump won and it's been down only? Embarrassing. What do you do? I don't understand what you're saying. Like, you sell your position? Or is this just like an anti-Trump post? It's so bizarre, man. Like, God, like the people who can make, that's probably my dad commenting, by the way, on one of his alternative accounts. Like the people who can bring politics into discussions that have nothing to do with politics. I think I'm at my limit for just being able to entertain. It's just like, can you like stop, man? Like, for fuck's sake, like not everything is related back to politics, not everything, but I don't know. Maybe he's just joking. Who knows? We may never know the truth of the situation. But yeah, if you bought because Trump won and then it's been down only, well, I think one, you had a terrible strategy. Your strategy is Trump wins, so I buy, and then when Trump loses, you sell? I don't fucking know. Back to that strategy. Well, you can't, so you don't have an objective strategy, so not very smart in general. Yeah, when I go to Halliburton, I mean, fuck, man, you are at the monthly 200 simple. So if it's going to reject anywhere, here is the place. But hopefully that's not your strategy. I mean, I sincerely hope that not anyone's that fucking redacted to think that. Or I mean, well, there probably are some people, but hopefully they're not a part of this community at least. Let's see. Not a good time to hate on energy stocks. Okay, just giving my opinion. That's all. Like I said, I don't generally have good opinions on energy stocks, anyways. Palantir, more downside or drawdown complete. So I actually sold my Palantir. I would like to buy lower. Can you make the argument that this has gone down enough to put in a major low? Yeah, kind of. I guess this would be considered your test of the monthly 21 EMA. I personally want to get it lower, so I'm not buying here. I would want to get it honestly around $100, maybe a little bit under there. That's where I'd play this game again. But yeah. I'm completely happy not participating in this thing where it's at currently. I sold it in around here when we called this one out a few weeks ago. Yeah, I don't have anything to add on to that, man. Yeah, whether it bottoms out here or not, I honestly don't care. I won't play the game right here. I'll play the game lower. Chad Gambler says monthly time frame looking at SCHD. This is Schwab. Okay, got it. SCHD. Actually just open up a Schwab account. Really good. Really good. Amazing, in fact. I don't own this, but I probably should. I don't own this, but I probably should, man. Have I charted this one? Okay, I would have thought. All right. I guess not. There is some targets to be had here. I think that you will see this thing trade up to like 35 bucks, maybe even 40 bucks over time. But yeah, this is really good. This is a monthly breakout. It's clean as fuck. About as clean as it gets, man. I'm looking sideways and up. Very good. You want to compare it to VGT, the Vanguard Technology ETF? Well, this one's great, but it's not going to have humongous returns. Oh, it's infinitely better than this thing right here. Infinitely better. Would you adjust the long-term portfolio ratio? Yeah, I would reward Schwab significantly more than Vanguard. I have accounts with both, by the way. But in terms of charts, like which one's more likely to win more, I would be betting on Schwab here. This is not bad either, but the other one's just better. It's just objectively better. Yeah, that's all they got to add about that. Schwab's credit card is pretty nice overseas. Really? I'm glad to hear that, man, because I will be getting one of those. ESS says, Crown, I have Schwab too. They've been great. Fast support. Sorry for caps. Appreciate it. Yeah, man, I'm glad to hear that because I had my first issue with my bank recently. I've never had an issue ever before with banks, but Chase just shut down my account. Like no explanation given or anything like that. I assume it's because I was like logging into my account frequently with a VPN from outside of the States, and I don't know. They like every time I did that, they would lock my account, and they probably did it like 20 times. So maybe at the end of it, they're just like, fuck this guy. I also sent money abroad as well, but I don't know. I think that's not a big deal, to be honest with you. It's fucking 2026 after all. But hey, it is what it is, man. I'm happy to go elsewhere. But yeah, man, I was a fucking private client there too, which is like supposed to be the highest of the high accounts. You're supposed to be like treated, a little bit nicer. They're supposed to value a little bit more, but yeah, they threw me away like they dropped me like a fucking salad, man. It was bad. Closed my Chase account quickly, says Thomas Powers Media. Fuck them. Yeah, man. I don't know. They also just don't even have that like great, reward schemes for their cards anyway. So it's like, why do I give a fuck? It is what it is, man. Space Nectar says, Crown, I got long the IGV 80 calls May expiration. I think playing naked options is an absolutely retarded way to do it. I apologize for saying that in a direct way, but there is never okay. You bought you're long the $80 call strike and it's trading at $82. Sir, just fucking buy the underlying stock if you're bullish. You're going to make more. I think that this is just a lack of understanding of options, to be honest with you, man. Do I think you're going to bounce here? Yes. Do I think you're going to make more money by buying the underlying stock? Yes. Do I think that your long $80 strike calls are going to work out? Depends on your premium. But you basically longed in the money calls. Just if you're going to long in the money calls, just fucking buy the stock. Just buy the stock. And have a stop loss like a normal person. Like you could set it up the exact same way even as an option, but just not have the fucking time component working against you and the premium working against you as well. I mean, this is, in my opinion, a misunderstanding of options. But I get it. A lot of people look at options in this way. Look, if you're going to do options, you have to do it with another leg. You cannot do naked options. Maybe on the sell side, if anything, but for fuck's sake, man, it's just not going to be optimal here. Like you paid a premium to basically long at the money, just long the fucking underline. Crown, do you have any videos on options trading? Yeah, I have an options trading 101 playlist. I will be updating that in the not so distant future, but the old options 101 playlist is still very much relevant. It's, all of these concepts are exactly what I use today. I just want to update it with, with what current exchanges look like. But other than that, the content itself is really not going to change much when I redo it. Does the option leverage not outweigh the premium and decay? Underline still better. Does the option leverage not outweigh it? Generally no, man. Yeah. Well, it depends how much your premium is and how much you're decaying. But I mean, if you're talking about May expiration, you paid a good premium for that. Like the further out it is, the more and more premium you're paying for it. In my opinion, it's just not optimal, man. The more optimal position, if you want to play direction, is to long or short the underline. It's never going to be to do options. Now, if you want to do an actual strategy in which you have, built-in stop losses or built-in risk management, then option versus option is a great idea for sure. But if you're just trying to play direction, no. Options are really meant to be played versus volatility. And this one just saw a major volatility spike to the spike on this downside move. So those options, this thing is going to go sideways on the lows for a long time. I suspect your option is just going to decay and decay and decay and decay some more from all of the tremendous amount of premiums that you bought it from. I think this is a terrible position, to be honest with you. I think you're going to be right about wanting to have long exposure. I think you might actually end up losing money on this position, man. I'm curious how much you paid for those, man. How much did you pay for an $80 call strike here? Because if you're gonna, I think that this thing's gonna range on the lows for like a month or two. So you're just gonna eat decay day after day after day. I really don't like that position. I really don't like it. What's up, JCG? Good morning to you, man. Take a look at hype chart. Doesn't seem to want to go below $29. Oh, it may or may not. It may just be a function of time, however. Let's see. This has been one of the better shitcoins this cycle, at least. This is not the full chart, but this one very obviously wants to go down. Also not the full chart, but very obviously wants to go. Sir, I got some news for you, man. I think that this thing's going to be making new lows within a week or two at most. It's already below I believe the number that you just quoted out as well, sir. Yeah, man. This thing is on a clear path back down to low 20s and probably beyond. This is almost undoubtedly your next macro lower high right here. I think it's really bad. It's a quick flip. I mistyped. Break even is $84 almost. All right, so you paid $4 for that $80 cost. That doesn't sound right to me, man. You were able to buy a May strike in the money for 5% premium. That doesn't sound right to me, but yeah, you probably will be profitable at some point on that option. At which point I'd probably just get rid of it because I do think that thing is range bound on the lows for a while. Let me go back to it. Like if this thing rallies back up to like 88, $90, I would probably sell it at whatever price it is there. So I think that you will get a chance then to be profitable on that position before May, but I would not hold that one to maturity. Did you review Cardano yet? It's probably still shitty, man. We have not looked at it, but it's probably still very shitty. Yeah, very bad. Just waiting to break down here, but I don't know. Does it have one more bounce off of this same area that's bounced this thing from 2022? Maybe, but whether it bounces here or not, it's going to break down given a long enough time, man. It wants to come down, back down towards these lows and 10 cents, 5 cents, whatever. So if not now, maybe fast forward a year, it'll break down by then, but only bounces I can see in the short term are, just pity bounces like this into lower highs. And this actually looks like it is yet another lower high with hidden bearish evidence building, confirmed below 27.5 cents. At that point, guess you have a real shot to break down, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, if you're up 14%, man, I do think you're going to bounce a little bit more. So you might want to hold on to it for a little bit, but I wouldn't hold that to maturity. So yeah, in this case, I understand what you're doing. Still would have been more profitable to do it with just the underlying stock. But hey, you have a profitable trade. I think you'll get a little bit more profit as well, probably into like the mid or maybe even upper 80s. I think it's like a good do in the next, 3-4 weeks, whatever. And if I was in that position, I'd personally dump it right there and take the money and run. I mean, that's a good position. So yeah, that would be a good profit. Chad Gambler says, bought PA Pivot 6 months ago, been on my chart since. It gives easy entries and invalidation so much value. Yeah, man, it's honestly, it's honestly like my secret. It's my guilty pleasure because it's like, if you've been trading for a while, you probably know how to draw your horizontals decently well. But this thing, it just puts it in there for you. It also gets these sort of formations that I wouldn't otherwise see a lot of the time. Just works really well to automate things, honestly. Like you don't have to second guess about, oh, which line do I manage on here? It's like, no, 70,961. Beautiful. Fucking beautiful. I love it, man. Bear Nutrition, I think, did a really, really good job with that one. Freddie M says CVX to $200 this month possible. I don't know, but I think this will be the last one for the day. Overall, I'm bullish on it. Is it going to get to $200 this month? That I probably not. I think that's a March thing. But whether it does it in the next 9.5 days or whether it does it in the next like month or 30 days, personally, I don't think it's relevant unless you're again, like an options position, but do I think that you're going to get there? Yeah. I also think you're going to exceed that number. I think this thing is going to get a nice shot up to like, probably like 220, something like that, man. This is really, really good. This is really fucking good here. So, but if it has to be in February, I probably wouldn't bet on that. Oh, it's all good, Space Nectar. Sorry, just trying to cough out those words there. It's all good, man. Like I said, I didn't know the specifics of your position, so it's kind of difficult for me to guess in that case. But yeah, I think that you'll end up being right, and get a little bit more as well. Wise Owl Trading says, I agree. Options are not for beginners. That's a good way to blow your up accounts. Options are for volatility plays. Yeah. Hedges. Yeah, absolutely. Advanced strategies, not for leverage plays over time. Buy a 2x or 3x ETF. If you must. Even then, I think I would rather just employ actual leverage on an ETF rather than do a 2 or 3x, because they seem to trade like kind of weirdly to me. Oh wow. And live from CNBC, Eric Trump says Bitcoin will reach 1 million. Oh God. Elsa sent me that, and she said, are they following Saint Tard? Oh my God. Elsa knows the Discord better than anyone, I guess. Don't tell me someone is trading 0 DTE options here. Yeah, you don't want to do that. I mean, you might as well just go play the prediction markets. Yeah, when considering trading as a profession, how do you fund your lifestyle? Basically, your percentage to extract from your portfolio. Well, of course, it's going to depend upon what is required for you for your lifestyle. I mean, it's not so much what trading is going to give you. It means what is your monthly burn rate. So, I mean, you're probably not asking me this question, but you just add up all of the expenses that you have on a month basis, and then that's what you need to make and pull out of your account every month. But I'm sure you already know that. So I don't know, perhaps I'm misunderstanding this question, but yeah. Yeah, you would need to figure it out that way. Yeah, it's really all it really comes down to. Someone has insulted Saint. Blasphemy, says Squad Juice. What's up, man? Nice emoticon as well. It's a new one. It's a new one indeed. Stonks Finance says, you've got a banging live stream. Intro. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, we'll probably shut it off right there. Again, going back to Bitcoin, I still think Bitcoin's poised to retest these lows. I'm not convinced that it's going to make significantly new lows or anything like that. I think we're going to spend a lot of time sticking around that 200 simple on the weekly. And if there is going to be a breakdown, that's probably a little bit further in the future, not like a this month or next month thing even. But yeah, I'd probably even put a little bit more money to work if Bitcoin does see a 5 handle on price in the next couple of weeks too. Again, I expect these to, very likely go underwater at some point, but I'll be holding them for, at least 5 years, or for me, it'll be 9 years from now. But I like to say people at least 5 years, and you're probably okay with like a decent value play here. But, can things go lower? It's always possible, of course, but I like my risk here. I like the value here for the long-term plays. Even in the short term, it's like, if Bitcoin came back down for like a quick stint in the 5s, probably got a nice bounce from there, to be honest with you. So I think we're entering into the boring part. Bitcoin might retest $60,000 again, but it's uninteresting to most people right now. The fun action is happening in traditional markets and the metals. To a lesser extent, the metals right now, the metals are starting to get kind of less interesting, as well as gold spent like 2-3 weeks, just consulting this region. So yeah. What's up, Erica? We're actually ending about right now. So also goodbye. Like playing Titanic music right now. Yeah. Kind of like that, man. I kind of feel the same way, just kind of waiting around for the inevitable. But yeah, that's what we'll end things for today. I want to say a massive thank you for everyone joining in. As always, been a beautiful pleasure on this Wednesday morning here. We will be signing off on that note. As always, I like to wish you the best. Take care, much love, and see you hopefully